Hello, radio fans. You're listening to Radio Shots. I'm your host, Michael Robertson, along with co-host Mark Wooten. How you doing, Mark?
Great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too. Hey, we've got a fantastic show. As we do every show, we find the very best clips from across your radio dial and bring them together. And in this edition, we've got just the right amount of politics, craziness, humor, Kobe stories.
We've got it all. We got it all.
Absolutely. And so let's dive in right here. First up is one of our perennial favorites, the Tom Joyner Morning Show. And another warning to you must be careful with how you use Facebook.
You got to be careful what you post on Facebook. Now, in this case, it should have been okay, but a Vermont woman posted pictures of her engagement ring on her page.
Oh, boy.
Only problem is her longtime friend stole the ring. It was stolen from a Zales jewelry store, so after considering his options, he concluded he couldn't afford the ring, so he just ran out the store with it. Now, 3 people noticed the ring matched the description of a stolen ring. They reported it. He went to jail. Now, see, ladies, this is why you don't put that pressure on a guy. Sometimes it's not even the woman. Sometimes it's her friends, the meddling friends. I thought you was going to get one for Christmas. By now, you should have that ring, Or that nagging mother-in-law, it's the mama. How long you been with this guy? It happens. Or, let's look at it. Maybe all these longtime friends got that monkey. And when you got that monkey, that'll make a man do some strange things.
Ooh, that monkey.
I know it's made me do a few strange things which I choose not to share. Matter of fact, all the men out there listening, let's have a moment of silence for that monkey.
That monkey.
Seriously.
So there you go. Another warning. How you use Facebook. You've got to be careful. Twitter, email, Facebook, text messaging. I have a very common name, Michael Robertson.
Yes.
And because of this, I get a lot of email misdirected to michaelrobertson@gmail.com. Now, that actually is my email address.
Okay.
However, there's a whole lot of other Michael Robertsons in the United States.
Sure.
Especially in Australia. Very common name in Australia. And so those people give out their email address and people mix it up. So I get crazy stuff all the time. I've got nude photos of women in my email.
Wow.
I've got pictures of drunk guys. I mean, it's crazy, the stuff that you get out there on the internet.
Absolutely.
So watch where you're sending your email and your Facebooks. Next,
Word to the wise.
That's right. Next up, Mark and Brian, KLS crew, talking about an ugly baby.
A man marries a beautiful woman who he impregnates. They're living a happy life together. The baby is born, and it is just butt-ass ugly. It is just an ass end of an ass ugly. It's a ugly, ugly baby. So the guy who was, fairly attractive, and his wife, who was gorgeous, he just couldn't figure out how they could have such an ugly baby. So he did some research. And his wife, he found some receipts or something, and then his wife admitted that she had major plastic surgery because she, too, was ass of the ass, butt ass, and ugly. So he sues her.
Yeah.
Did he win?
Yes.
For misrepresentation, what was that was wow.
Basically that,
but
yeah.
You know what? That's going to be a really common problem nowadays. I mean, everyone's getting everything pulled, and that is going to be wow.
Yeah, but I think that this one was beyond a tug and a rap. She apparently had
been transplanted.
She had been transformed.
Yeah.
Now, if that were the case, don't you think, especially when you're about to bring an ugly baby into the world, don't you think you're going to sit down and divulge that information?
Hell no.
No.
Okay.
no.
Keep it to yourself.
And just cross your fingers that maybe the baby
lucky.
won't be as ugly as that was. Well.
So there you go, an ugly baby, mad at the genetic depositors, wanting your money back.
Oops.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world we live in.
Very crazy.
And it's so crazy, and we have the craziest bits still ahead. We've got our shot of the week, which is the craziest shot, and we also have our pot shot.
We have a bonus pot shot.
A bonus pot shot.
Yeah.
Yes, we actually have. It was a two-way tie. and we'll get to that in a second. We've never had that before, but it's a two-way tie for our pot shot of the week. While we're talking about misrepresenting, I guess there's a study saying if you want to lie to people, it's a lot easier over text messaging.
It may not be a virtue, but one thing texting makes easier is lying. People were found more likely to lie while texting, according to a study from the University of British Columbia. They had students role play as a stock seller and stock buyer. The seller was told the stock would tank, and they were given a financial incentive to sell as much bad stock as possible. If they could broker the deal while texting, they were most likely to lie, or at least withhold the truth. They were most likely to be honest when they had to face the buyer.
So that's Fox News telling us to do business in person if you want to get the best chances of getting that honest deal.
Yep.
So now, Mark, what kind of car do you drive?
Scion.
A Scion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Priuses are very popular, and the newest rage is the Chevy Volt, all electronic. And I guess all 7,000 of them were recalled this week.
Yeah, I just heard that.
Well, Larry Elder on KBC out of Los Angeles, he just moved to the afternoon time, by the way. He's talking about how expensive they are with some shocking numbers. Let's take a listen.
Each Chevy Volt sold thus far may have as much as $250,000 in state and federal dollars in incentives behind it, a total of $3 billion altogether for 6,000 cars. Researcher looked at the total state and federal assistance offered for the development and production of the Chevy Volt. Analysis included 18 government deals that included loans, rebates, grants, tax credits. And the amount of government assistance does not include the fact that GM is owned 25% by you and me. And as I said, they sold 6,000, which means that they could be subsidized up to $250,000, depending upon how many government subsidy milestones are realized. Now get this. If battery manufacturers, the incentives that were awarded to them were included, but they weren't, the potential government subsidy would increase to $256,824. Now, a state representative in Michigan said this when told about all these numbers. Quote, "It just goes to show there are certain folks that will spend anything to get their vision of what people should do. It's a glaring example of the failure of central planning trying to force citizens to purchase something they may not want. They should let the free market make those decisions."
So there you go. That Chevy Volt, $250,000 in taxpayer money.
I almost can't believe that. That's huge.
That's massive. And,
Yeah.
and you know what? When I came to work this morning, my car didn't start. You know why? Dead battery. Like, if you think about it, like, the most unreliable part on your car is the battery.
Absolutely.
That thing breaks every 4 years. Your car stops, doesn't go anywhere. You just got to buy a new one. I don't know what breaks in them, but that breaks. And now imagine a car just full of batteries, and you have a Chevy Volt.
Ouch. Yeah,
Doesn't sound
yeah,
like a
yeah.
reliable car to me. I don't want my tax money buying it. But, hey, speaking of tax money, let's go on communism and see what Whoopi Goldberg had to say about communism. This is on the Michael Medved show out of KRLA in Los Angeles.
If you say that this is how our culture is, and then you send your child to a Swiss boarding school, you know, this is what happens with communism. It's a great concept. On paper, it makes perfect sense. But once you put a human being in power, it shifts. We saw it in Russia. We've seen it all over the world. It's nuts. But
okay, is it a great concept? Is theft a great concept? Because that's what communism is based on. Communism used a claim that years before by a guy named Proudhon that said property is theft. Actually, communism is theft. Taking money, taking food, taking goods, taking work away from people who provide it, taking stuff away from people who earn it, and giving it to people who never have earned it. That's called theft. And that's what communism is based on. It's not a great concept. It's an evil concept.
So there's Whoopi Goldberg on The View talking about communism.
Oy.
You know, just once, I wish the guy running the camera would say, "Hey, Whoopi, why don't you share with me? Why don't we trade paychecks?" Right? That's what communism out says. Everyone should get paid the same. Why don't you get the same $22 an hour that I'm getting here behind the camera? I wonder what she would say to that.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah,
it would show up on the show, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, you're listening to Radio Shots, your weekly radio show of the very best of radio. And you're probably wondering, where do we get all these clips? How do we get from literally hundreds and thousands of shows? Well, we have a secret weapon. That secret weapon is DAR.FM. Mark, tell our guys what DAR is, our listeners.
It's a digital audio recorder. It means you can record radio.
That's right. So just like you do on your TV with your DVR, you can use DAR.FM and record. How many shows do we have now?
16,000 or so.
16,000 shows. Yeah. You record once, and then every future broadcast is recorded for you. So you get like a lifetime pass of your favorite shows. So if you hear a show you like on our show, then jump on over to DAR.FM with your computer. It's a free service, and you can record it and listen when you like.
Never miss them.
That's right. Now, up ahead is something we do every week. This is our pot shot. Now, we call it pot shot because, well, it's so crazy that we believe drugs were somehow involved in the manifestation, the generation of this. And here, we've had something we've never happened before, which is actually a two-way tie. Two different clips from the same show on the same topic tied. So we're going to listen to the first one here. It's from the Stephanie Miller show, and we'll let her set it up herself.
Number one, North Korean schools teach children that Kim Jong-il's birth was supernatural, that his arrival was accompanied by an apparition of a new star. The seasons then spontaneously changed from winter to spring, and a double rainbow appeared.
Oh.
Followed by a talking iceberg.
A talking iceberg?
Iceberg.
Off the coast of North
Was
Korea?
Was it speaking Norwegian?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I see the talking iceberg.
Or maybe North Korean school children receive acid in their lunches. That doesn't seem...
That's a bad kimchi.
Something. Number two, in 2006, Kim Jong-il learned a man in Germany breeds giant rabbits. He found them delightful and decided they were the key to solving North Korea's widespread hunger problem. Oh, dear.
Oh.
He got in touch with the guy in Berlin, the world's foremost breeder of giant rabbits. Kim paid for 12 rabbits, then told the guy the rabbits would be kept at a petting zoo in Pyongyang.
Oh.
And in a few months, he would be flown in to help actually set up a farm for breeding. About 5 or 6 months later, the guy got a call canceling the trip because...
they'd all been eaten.
Kim couldn't resist. He ate the giant rabbits to celebrate his birthday.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I mean, what a pig. Okay. I don't even think Kim Jong, or what do you call it? Chris Christie could ingest 12 giant rabbits. Do you?
No.
At one birthday dinner?
Or maybe Kim Jong-il's son. Maybe that's how he got so fat.
Oh, that's what it is. He left the leftovers for Kim.
There you
Kim
go.
Jong-il's son looks like he ate Chris Christie. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So that's the first half of our pot shot. And,
Wow.
and Stephanie actually mentioned she thought acid was involved.
Yeah, talking iceberg. How else would you get there?
Double rainbow, baby. Maybe did he start it or did he leverage the double rainbow?
I think he started it if it happened when he was born there. So
That's right.
Yeah.
But as we mentioned, it was a tie.
There's more fun facts.
There's more craziness about Kim Jong-il after his demise. Let's take another listen.
Number three, state textbooks claim Kim Jong-il does not produce urine or feces. Maybe he exploded to death.
Anymore.
Not anymore.
That's true now. Maybe that was why he was so full of when he was alive.
Sure.
Number four, Kim Jong-un claimed to be the world's greatest golfer. I remember this one. In 1994, Pyongyang media reported that he shot a 38 under par on a regulation 18-hole golf course, including 5 holes in one.
Yeah. Oh, so nice.
Number five, as the World Festival of Youth and Students approached in 1989, Kim Jong-il had disabled residents removed from Pyongyang. The government also, this is tricky, the government also distributed pamphlets that touted a wonder drug that cures shortness. He then sent the short people who responded to a series of uninhabited islands in the hopes of ridding his nation of imperfect genes. Number six, this is preemptive. He imprisoned relatives of convicts because he was convinced the stain of criminality persists for 3 generations.
Wow.
Somewhere, Sheriff Arpaio's going, hey,
I like the way you think.
I don't think of that. Number 7, the leader had a fear of flying, so he had lobsters airlifted onto his armored train when he traveled. And also, he was Hennessy's biggest single client in 1993 and 94, spending $850,000 a year on cognac.
That's the way I roll, baby.
So craziness out of North Korea. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen the documentaries on that place. It is shocking. And did you watch any of the video footage of his burial ceremony?
Oh yeah, the way they can get all those people all lined up is they're good at that. Yeah,
Right, but both the military shots where there's thousands of people for as far as your eye can see lined up, and then also with all the citizens weeping and crying. And I happened to watch another documentary like on National Geographic Channel or something like that. And they said, here's the deal. If you don't show allegiance to Kim Jong-il, they not only will kill you, but they'll put your entire family in a concentration camp.
Yeah.
And that's how you get a whole country. And now they have his son, Kim Jong-un, who has been named, you know his new name? You're supposed to call him by his new name?
No.
Supreme Leader.
Supreme Leader, of course. Yeah.
Not the unsupreme leader, which is what I would call him. And then I would go into a concentration camp with my entire family.
Bad.
Yeah. And there you go. Craziness out of North Korea. Hey, you're listening to Radio Shots. And if you have a shot that you think is good enough, meets our high quality threshold here to be on Radio Shots, then go ahead and send me email, michael@radioshots.com, along with the clip. And if it meets our high quality threshold, we'll put it on the show and give you a shout out. Next up, let's go to a new show that hasn't been on our broadcast before. It's the Dana Show. Let's take a listen.
This is from Tom, and again, we do dramatic readings of my hate mail. The subject of this was idiot, by the way. Oh, idiot. I don't understand how you cannot like Ron Paul's foreign policy. Don't you know that you're doing the bidding of the Zionist Illuminati? These people meet every year, the richest people in the world, and they map out what they want everyone to say, the wars they want everyone to fight, and the sooner people like you on radio and TV get it through your stupid thick skulls that there are bigger forces at work here, the sooner we can be free. Tom. Ron Paul 2012. Dude, I'm not even kidding you. I don't get that. What? I don't even get that. I had to Google what the Illuminati was. And you know what came up? That Tom Hanks movie. Like over and over again. And I had to like scroll down to like the Wikipedia to find out what is this dude even talking about.
So that's the Dana Show. The first time I've heard her, and I like her already.
Oh yeah, she's great.
I'm gonna record her on DAR.FM. You know, I happen to be a libertarian, and I don't know why so many of the libertarians are kookballs. Like they can't just be for limited government. They can't just be for, let people live. They got to be all crazy conspiracy people.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of them, yeah.
Kind of indicts the whole movement.
Oops, yeah.
Oh, well. Hey, let's move on. The number 5 most popular show on DAR.FM that people record is Coast to Coast.
Yes.
This is that AM show where they talk about aliens and craziness.
Mm-hmm. But that's not the only one. That's what we got here. We got a different show here.
That's right. We've got a clip. This is from Darkness on the Edge of Town. And this is out of Minneapolis. And let's take a listen to their explanation about why we haven't found mermaids and Bigfoots.
We talk about the possibility of alternate dimensions, multiple universes, these slips. And you talked earlier about, some creatures that may be interdimensional, that they're there one minute, gone the next. And because there had been so many cases of sailors that would see what they called the mermaid, and these characters would appear and then seemingly vanish, I mean, that very well could be that, especially if water has that special energetic property to it. And I would think that if you're a water creature like Loch Ness or a mermaid, that traversing dimensions and portals would be a lot easier because it's like swimming through that energy stream anyway. So that would lead or lend more credibility to the possibility of water creatures being able to traverse dimensions a lot easier than I would see something like a Bigfoot, which also is rumored to be an interdimensional creature.
No, that's true. And I have to admit, what you're saying, there's a possibility for it. And if you just made the assumption that at least a percentage of these sightings, even if it was only a fraction of 1% of the sightings were true, then you would have to come up with some type of theory like that, because otherwise we would have found out a whole civilization of mermen and mermaids a long time ago at the bottom of the ocean with all of our research, and we have not found that. So they would have to be interdimensional.
So there you go. Mermaids are interdimensional.
Makes perfect sense.
And that's why we haven't found them. Same with Bigfoot. So they look like pretty primitive, but they're actually very advanced.
Yes.
That was, again, the clip from Darkness on the Edge of Town. So get on over to DAR.FM and record that one. Now, you might be wondering, what kind of commercials run on shows like that?
Yeah.
Well, for the first time ever on Radio Shots, we're actually going to play a commercial. Normally, it's clips from the hosts or their guests or interviews, right? But we're going to play a commercial, and this commercial, in fact, ran on Darkness on the Edge of the Town show that we just listened to. Let's take a listen.
If you are interested in exploring the paranormal, you want to start with Digital Dowsing. Digital Dowsing is your best source for paranormal equipment, offering devices like the Ovilus. The Ovilus was featured on the TV show Ghost Adventures and is the preferred device for serious and amateur investigators alike. If you want to explore the paranormal, you want Digital Dowsing, making the paranormal normal. You'll find Digital Dowsing at ghostshop.com. That's ghostshop.com.
So there you digital dowsing. So dowsing, of course, are those little rods, right?
Yeah, what's the stick? You find water, you know.
You're supposed to find water, and this
Yeah.
is the digital version of that. And well, if it's digital,
Yep.
it's got to be better, right?
Of course.
Yeah, it definitely has to be better. So, wow. Hey, let's stay on the alien theme. And Fitz in the Morning is talking about a brand new concept in brothels. That's right, brothels that combine with aliens. Let's listen.
Dennis Hoff is the guy who runs the Moonlight Bunny Ranch in Nevada. That's the brothel in the HBO series Cat House, for those of you that follow that kind of thing.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. And
What?
now he's starting a... what?
I've never heard of such a...
I have never. Well, now he's starting a new brothel, but has a slight nerdy twist. It's called Alien Cat House. Yep, all the hookers are going to dress up as aliens.
Yeah.
He's still working out the details, he says, but, you know...
Is the code, take me to your leader.
He says that, whether or not, the hookers will be painted green, whether they'll have little antennas instead of bunny ears, things like that. Basically, he figures that a good target demographic for brothels are guys with science fiction fantasies. So any of you that want to dress up as Captain Kirk, come on down, he says.
How much for the probe?
It's like a hooker herd for nerds. Page 2.
So that's Fitz in the Morning. And you know what? I think it's not that crazy of an idea.
No.
I think it would actually work.
Absolutely.
There's enough geeks out there.
Those guys on Big Bang Theory, for instance,
Sure.
they'd be all over this.
Right. And next week is the CES show, Consumer Electronics Show.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what they have right after the Consumer Electronics Show?
No. Oh, wow, maybe I do know.
AVN, the Adult Video Network, or it's
good timing. Yeah.
It's the porn show.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not coincidental, right? You've
No.
got a whole city full of geeks, and they just transition right over into pornography.
Why not?
So I'm thinking that the alien brothel might actually work. Now, you're listening to Radio Shots, and still up ahead is our craziest clip, our funniest clip, our shot of the week. But next, we're going to go listen to Mark and Brian out of KLOS in Los Angeles, and talking about a couple that were thinking about cheating, but didn't actually cheat, but there were big repercussions nonetheless.
A man divorces his wife because she considered having an affair. An Italian couple's marriage has been annulled on the basis that the wife had contemplated having an affair. Italy's highest court upheld the ruling by a church tribunal and a lower court, even though the woman never actually committed the adultery. The court ruled that the woman's contemplation of having the affair or affairs was sufficient enough for the marriage to be annulled. The unusual case began when the husband went to a church tribunal in Modena in northern Italy asking for his marriage to be dissolved. He told the tribunal that his wife had often talked about having an open marriage, although she had never put the idea into practice. The tribunal agreed with him that the marriage should be annulled. The wife took the case to a civil court in Bologna, and from there to Italy's highest appeals court in Rome. In its ruling, the judges from the court in Rome wrote, quote, "We fully support the lower court's finding despite there being no evidence of the woman having relationships with other men. Under the judgment, the wife will not be entitled to claim alimony from her former husband. Privacy rules prevented the couple's names, ages, and occupations from being divulged." She thought about it.
So there you go. That's from Italy, right?
Yeah.
I thought they were progressive. I thought they were like, it's okay to have, people on the side type of society.
It's a very Catholic nation, actually, still.
Well,
Just
apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, because you can think about it and boom, presto.
Yep. That's the problem.
The wedding's over. The marriage is over. All right. It's time for our shot of the week. That's right. And we're going to stick with the divorce theme.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to jump to the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Let's take a listen.
In L.A. there, baby girl, they tearing up Kobe and Vanessa.
Oh, they tearing them up. But Vanessa, she must really be bad. Anytime your stepfather say, yeah, she ain't nothing but a gold digger like a mama, I say, oh, wait a minute. Your stepdaddy come out against you, your family pretty bad. I'm telling you that right now, because the stepfather said her mother sucking money out of him, and he ain't even hardly got no money. He said, I'm paying her $1,800 a month, and I know they don't need my $1,800. They just spiteful women. So, Kobe, you better get the best lawyer team you can.
Oh, yeah.
Because she coming for you. It's bad. I mean, it's bad. Then we got beat. The brakes got beat off of us. So I said, this thing is horrible.
You mean the
The Clippers beat us. The Clippers beat us by 200 points. That's not a good sign. We never lose to the Clippers. We done lost to the Clippers already. I said, oh, my God.
It was just
this is going to be a crime shot. It don't matter. We usually breeze through preseason like we headed to the championship. I don't even think we're going to make the playoffs. I'm trying to tell you right now. Anytime you look, I looked at the Lakers, who they had on the floor and who they had on the bench. Mm-hmm. All I saw was Andrew Bynum, Kobe Bryant, Matt Barnes, Pau Gasol, and I can't tell you who the rest of them mystery men are. I don't know who they are. I didn't even know they was in the league. When I saw the little point guard come off the bench, I said, who in the hell is that? We in a Showtime Lakers uniform. This thing done got ugly out here in L.A.
So there you go. That's our shot of the week from the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Hey, the Clippers are for real, Mark.
I know. They're in first place right now.
Are they?
I checked the standings today. They are ahead of the Lakers now.
They're for real. But that was our shot of the week. You've been listening to Radio Shots. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope this half hour of fantastic radio has met your expectations. If you've got email, you want feedback, send it to me, Michael@radioshots.com. And until then, this is Michael and Mark signing off.